The Entreprenista League is here. You told us what you wanted. Exclusive game-changing business-boosting content, members-only events to network and connect, the opportunity to have your story and business featured on Entreprenista.com, the chance to promote your business to our audience on the Entreprenista social channels. Your wish has been granted. Introducing the Entreprenista League. When you join the Entreprenista League, you will get access to our private community of entreprenistas who are making an impact in business every single day. Whether you're looking to scale your business, meet potential investors, make exciting business building connections, or finally take the leap to launch your business and share the candid reality of building a business from the ground up, we are here to give you access to a community of women who will celebrate and support you every step of the way. Applications are open, so head over to Entreprenista.com/join for a special offer. That's Entreprenista.com/join. We can't wait to welcome you, support you, and be the best part of your business growth.
The biggest lesson I have learned is no empire is built alone. The solopreneur is a myth. You can start in your basement. You can't end in your basement.
Mm-hmm.
No successful company is one person. So the biggest thing I have learned is to collaborate and to figure out how to get along with people, to figure out how to trust people, to figure out how to delegate to people, to not be the superhero, to not think that you're saving money by doing all the roles yourself. You're the marketer, you're the finance, you're the salesperson, you're the content creator, you're the social media, you're the mom, you're the wife. Like, you can do anything, but you can't do everything.
The queen of her own empire, Elena Cardone started her career in Hollywood and soon became a successful model and actress. She's now an author, businesswoman, event producer, mentor, public speaker, and visionary, inspiring women to create their own empires that are truly fulfilling. She counts her current job as her most important one, Chief Family Officer, where she is a loving mother, fierce wife, and loyal friend. Coming up, Elena shares early lessons from her childhood and her decision to move to Los Angeles, how she manages her time by balancing purpose, the importance of collaboration and understanding that no empire is built alone. Elena shares her secret tip to her hiring process. And finally, you'll learn more about Elena's programs to empower women. This is the Entreprenista podcast, presented by Socialfly.
It's the best business meeting you'll ever have, with must-hear real-life looks at how leading women in business are getting it done.
And what it takes to build and grow a successful company.
It's beyond the gram.
With no filters,
no limits,
and plenty of surprises.
Elena, we are so excited to have you here today. I have been following you on Instagram, I think since around the time I moved to Miami, which was in 2020. And I am just fascinated by all of your content, your family life, your whole family, especially your two daughters. I think that they're absolutely incredible. So I'm honored to talk to you today because I need to know, how did this all start? How did you get here? Talk to us about the early days.
Oh gosh, there's the early days pre-grant. There's the early days with grant.
Let's go back to pre-grant.
Okay, so pre-grant, let's see, I moved to Los Angeles when I was 17 years old out of New Orleans, Louisiana. My teen years were very confusing. I had experienced a real big trauma in my life where I witnessed my best friend who lived across the street perish in a fire. I saw the whole thing. It was not something I was able to confront easily at that age of 14 years old. I had been a tomboy my whole life, so I was already kind of programmed to hide all my feelings, never cry. Like when I was really young, 6, 7, 8, 9, I had, as a girl, like I didn't want to be a girl, like, because then you were the sissy or whatever. So I always had to be stronger than the boys at that time and be tougher than the boys. And so coming out of that, now I'm only 14 years old. This situation happens to me. I did not know how to deal or cope with that. So then my solution became to just self-medicate with drugs, alcohol. So that was my teen years. I was I went down some dark paths. I had a lot more friends die, suicide, drug overdose, car accidents. I mean, it was just the mounting pressure, pain, depression, all of that was those teen years. It was covered by, it looked like a lot of fun, a lot of party, and a lot of punk rock, rah, but underneath all of that, that's really what was happening. So at 17 years old, in order to stop the madness and to stop, having to walk out of my front door and have to see that house every single time, I moved to Los Angeles at 17, not knowing anyone. Kind of found a life as an actress, model, turned my life around to a very good degree. But I became very independent, powerful woman, actress, never depend on a man for anything. I don't need nobody for nothing. I don't want to be married. I didn't even really think I wanted, to have kids. So that took me all the way to about 30. So that was that life. And then I end up meeting Grant, and at 30, I finally get married to him. I tapped out, I submitted.
Where did you meet him?
I met him on a commercial shoot in downtown Los Angeles. He knew the director, so he was invited to the shoot, and I saw him, didn't think anything of him. At that time, I only hung out with actors and rock stars. Like, I didn't know business people in the business world, so he didn't even come across the radar. I had no interest in him. He calls me, and, I had this one disastrous phone call with him where I just thought he was this arrogant rich guy who think he could buy women or impress women, which, moving to LA at 17 and now I'm in my late 20s, I was like, please. So not interested in him. Thought like it was, he was like the worst I thought I'd ever seen, So I didn't answer any of his calls for the next 13 months when he called twice a month, every month, and left a message on my answer machine. From that point, we became friends. And that's when he really separated himself out of all the other guys, where it was like, God, there is something this man sees in me that is beyond the poo nanny, because no other guy would deal with all the little mistreatments that I did to them. They would just leave or get angry or get discouraged and whatever. But Grant just constantly showed up, was there, and I don't know, he finally broke into my heart, because really the not letting a man in was really about protecting myself from experiencing a loss where I could be that crushed again. So it didn't matter that even though the incident happened with my best friend Goldie, it just transferred to everyone. No one can get in, And so then I found myself in the first couple of years of my marriage still operating as, I have to be the strong, independent, powerful woman, never depend on a man for anything. That was like ingrained in me. And if I did, I was a sellout to all of the women across the world. And that's how I acted. So then my husband and I kind of always clashed in the beginning years, because I was vying for this like woman's rights position. And so we were working on our own things in the day, doing well, but coming home and battling each other. We weren't really gaining ground. And then to wrap up this long question that I've drawn out, in 2008, I was pregnant with our first child. We were on the verge of losing everything financially. We were under a lawsuit for the first time. My career as an actress was over. I was pregnant, which that does have a toll. That takes a toll in Hollywood. Anyway, at that point, I realized, you know what, I have to put all of my considerations about what women who I don't even know, but existed in my head, would think about me if I traded in my acting career in order to actually support a man and bring whatever I can bring to the table to make him and us reach a heightened level of success together. So that's what I did. And then that's when I realized, wow, my true power and strength as a woman didn't come from just, this is my reality. I didn't want this to be my reality, but this is the reality that I live with now, is that being with a man and being able to depend on him and him depend on me in the world of codependency is horrible, was false to me, because the more that we could depend upon each other, the more that we could fortify, the more that we could, really work as a collaborated effort together, and make this mission happen, the stronger we became, the more fortified, the more in love we became, because we were winning and fighting side by side. And I was doing my role at 100%, and he was doing his role at 100%. And the two of us were 200%. And we were just actually starting to make ground and headway. So the irony of it all is, he didn't give me the strength and power as a woman, but the things and the challenges that he presented with me that I then had to challenge myself to overcome and become made me greater as a woman. So it's just very ironic how the whole thing switched to a 180. And now I'm just, really believe in the power of that unit. And why not, why not be able to trust, depend, and support the person that you are married to?
Thank you for sharing all of that. I'm fascinated by the story. What was your first business venture together?
Well, when I traded in the acting career, I started working with him. He had a training business where he would train auto dealers, car dealers, with sales training technology. So then I would go in and book all of the spaces and in the hotel rooms all across America for him to then go out on these tours and then upsell to the product. So I kind of went into his business, and then from there, we just kind of expanded and grew into Cardone Capital, Cardone Training Technologies, all of which are run by other division heads. Me just kind of being the behind the scenes operations, everything running, basically everything Grant Cardone. So to facilitate him to be able to deliver in all of these areas is how we've kind of structured the organization for many, many years. And as we've grown, we've been able to expand, which then I don't have to do all the roles that I was originally doing in the beginning. So now we're up to the point where, the kids are old enough. I'm certainly not stepped out of my mom role, but certainly I'm not as hands-on when I was breastfeeding and watching when they were walking that they weren't running into or falling down. And, I was really a stay-at-home mom for a number of years until they were old enough. Now they're old enough. Now I'm doing my Build an Empire, 10X ladies. Now I'm creating the largest, most successful real estate team in the world with the EXP platform. So now I have my quote unquote, my own sort of entities, but it's all under the Cardone umbrella because every single branch or division that I'm in has the sole purpose of being a funnel to everything we do Grant Cardone, if that makes sense.
No, that's so helpful to hear. I would love to understand, how do you best manage your time? You are involved in a lot of different things, and it's helpful to hear that everything that you do funnels up to this larger venture. But how do you manage your time and figure out what areas of the business to really focus in?
So I've really narrowed down my purpose, right? So, I'm very clear on my purpose. So in the beginning, in 2008, when the economy collapsed in 2008, my purpose was to survive. My purpose was to not lose it all. My purpose was not to care about you or anybody else on this call. My purpose at that time was only to not go broke. Now, I only say that because I want people out there that might not have the purpose. I don't want you to get so stuck on, oh, what is the ultimate purpose? You can change your purpose depending on where you're at with your life. So from 2008, was to not die, basically, it was to survive. Then it evolved into my purpose, which still is my purpose, which is I want to be supporting, showing active interest in the success of Grant Cardone. I believe in his products and materials, that it can transform somebody's financial condition of their life when they actually apply his data. So I facilitated all the behind the scenes operations so that he could produce and deliver that material and people could have wins. When people have wins with Grant's products and services, I'm also the benefit of that win because I'm making a difference, right? I did that for a number of years. I'm not going to ever disown that purpose. As I've evolved now, I have another purpose. I want to empower women on this planet. Empower means to make stronger and make more confident, especially controlling their life and claiming their rights. So I have this real empowerment of women, and I want to restore the family dynamic in society. So those are my main purpose lines. The last being, I want to help realtors become financially free through this other EXP model that I was telling you about. So those are my purposes. Now that I'm so clear on those purposes, it really helps me to distinguish what activities to get involved with and what activities to leave alone. So that's how I do it. Like when people come to me, I can immediately assess, does this fit into my purpose lines? No? Okay, well then I can guide you to that person, this person, or that person, but I'm not wasting time with you. I'm not becoming your friend. I don't hang out. I don't do loaf time. I mean, I do earned loaf time, but I'm really on a mission to create a spiritual legacy for myself with this portion of my life. I'm about to hit 49 soon. So I'm just in a different era. I'm in a different space. So that's what I'm looking to do. I don't waste a lot of time with drama, I don't get distracted. There's causes out there. Of course I care about but I really, unless they fit in my purpose line at this point in my life, until I handle my sector, until the value of a woman is restored to this globe, how valuable we are. And we have to know our power. The power, again, the definition of power means the capacity or the ability to influence the behavior of others. I believe women have the power, not that the men don't, but I feel innately have a power to influence the behavior of others. And if we're going to change the condition of this planet, I believe enough women need to come own that responsibility and actually influence the people around them. Starts with themselves. Then it starts with your husbands, your partners, your children, your community. And we are going to be the one to save this planet. So until I handle my sector, I have to trust somebody else's purpose lines on the ocean. I can do what I need to do by every time I see trash on the beach, pick it up, and that's my contribution. Or I can say, hey, don't litter. Even those small things is taking a role or a position, right? But I'm not going to go head the charge on that. I'm going to leave those charges for the people who have designated themselves for that sector. So you understand, I'm not running off in all these other purpose lines, even though they might speak to me because I haven't handled my sector yet. Mm-hmm. So you asked me how I do it. I'm very clear on what it is I'm doing, what I need to see to know whether I'm hitting those targets. And until I can, have a pass on that, then I can move on to what may be my next purpose line.
Thank you for sharing that. What are those targets? Do you have definitive numbers that you're looking to hit to get there?
Yeah, I'm looking for 100,000 agents on my team with EXP. And the next one is about numbers, financial numbers. I want, another barometer for me is I want to be able to fill a stadium for about 80,000 women globally for a women's international conference, where I have multiple speakers. Anyway, that would be a target. Wow, that takes a lot to fill 80,000 seats. The whole build an Empire Mastermind and all the things that I want to do with the elite ambassadors. And those are the women that are trained in delivering my content and speaking on stages. So I want that to hit around 100 million and then 500. And then, how far can I go beyond that? And the reason I pick numbers is because I might not hear all the success stories. I might not know what's going on, but for me to have transacted a product and put it in that many people's hands to exchange that many services with that many people, that tells me something. Like Coca-Cola, is on the Forbes list because they're a multi-billion-dollar company. But why? Because they distribute their product to so many people that transact. So I have certain numbers in place, not that I need to hit it to prove to myself that I am somebody, because whatever, because some people can hear that and screw it, especially if they don't understand money.
Next up, you'll hear Elena's tips for her hiring process with an emphasis on core values. Hey, Entreprenistas. As we all know, every minute counts when running a business. That's why we are so excited to introduce you to an amazing time-saving customer support solution, Text Expander. When you use Text Expander, you will have an edge over your competition by speeding up your customer support and replies through easy-to-format snippets that will save you time when typing. With Text Expander, there's less repetition, fewer errors, and consistent messaging that will keep your growing team aligned and working efficiently. All right, here's how it works. Drop commonly used content like email templates and FAQs into Text Expander to create a snippet and assign an abbreviation like FAQ. Then type the abbreviation to trigger your snippet and see your content expand. You can use your snippets on any device, in any program, and share them with your growing team. It's that easy. You do not want to miss out on your opportunity to save valuable time and get more done with the power of Text Expander, which is available on Mac, Windows, Chrome, iPhone, and iPad. And we always have a special discount for our listeners. You can save 20% off your first year by visiting textexpander.com/podcast. That's TEXTEXPANDER.com/podcast.
What are some of the biggest lessons you have learned as an entreprenista?
The biggest lesson I have learned is no empire is built alone. The solopreneur is a myth. You can start in your basement. You can't end in your basement.
Mm-hmm.
No successful company is one person. So the biggest thing I have learned is to collaborate and to figure out how to get along with people, to figure out how to trust people, to figure out how to delegate to people, to not be the superhero, to not think that you're saving money by doing all the roles yourself. You're the marketer, you're the finance, you're the salesperson, you're the content creator, you're the social media, you're the mom, you're the wife. Like, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that kept me small for too long. Is I felt like if I invested money, time, and resources into people, that was somehow going to cost me. I didn't realize that when you pour time, energy, and resources into the right people, and you've got to know the right things to look for, but when you do that, they don't cost you. They actually expand and grow and make you more of. So I've really understood the value of a team, and that was a mistake that cost me probably about 10 years.
Tell us about how you decide who to hire and what you look for. And are there certain interview questions that you ask to really learn about the potential candidate and if they're going to be a great fit for your organization?
So there's a couple of tricks that we do for hiring. Number one, like for instance, before they even get in front of me, a qualifier will say, send a 30-second or a 60-second, whatever we say, right? It's either 30 or 60-second video about yourself. I try not to tell them too much, just that, then I wait to see what comes back. How long did it take for them to give a 30 or 60-second video? Did they come back with 10 million questions? Well, what am I supposed to say? And what do you know what I mean? Like a little bit of that, I think, okay, I understand it's a valid question, but some of that I'm also looking at, can you have common sense and can you problem solve? What would you think I would be wanting from a video? Do you think I want you in a bikini on a beach telling me how you're going to be professional on the phones? Like, do you know what I'm saying? So I can tell a lot from the video. I can tell from the video, if I said 30 or 60 seconds and you sent in a 3-minute video, it tells me it's a red flag. It's a sign. It's like, okay, so when I'm going to be giving an order in the future and I want something 30 to 60 seconds, are you going to overcomplicate it? Are you going to misduplicate the order that was given to you by doing all this unnecessary add-on stuff? Why can't you express yourself in 30 seconds or 60 seconds? Because normally I'll just kind of know right away whether I'm going to call them in from that video. I look at how somebody presents themselves, how they show up physically in the physical universe. Are they prepared? Are they, how do they care about their appearance? Or, that stuff matters to me. I care what people are saying and representing in the physical universe about themselves. So then when they're in front of me, I ask them questions. I want to know things. I want to know what they think of their last job, what they thought of their last boss. I want to know how they got along with their last people. What did they like about their last job? What did they not like about their last job? I get a lot of data from that. If they go on and this person was horrible and that person was horrible and their boss was this and that, they're going to come into my organization and be that same complainer, victim, make everybody else wrong. They're going to start a whole gossip session. I don't want problems. Like even when I say, what was the problem that you didn't like about your boss? Like when they're like, nothing, it was amazing. I just moved or whatever and blah, 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 blah. But I love this about it. What I would have liked better is if I could have done this or that. But you know what I'm saying? So I look at that. I try to give them the mission statement of the company, our core values. I have them give examples of how they could apply that. I have them give me examples of how they could see somebody misapplying that and how that would go against what we're about. I ask them if they have a situation or problem with that. And then lastly, I give them a task. So like, for instance, if I'm doing something for social media or whatnot, and it's a video guy, I'll say, here's a whole GrowthCon speech of mine. You have 15 minutes, make me a 1-minute video of myself doing whatever. And I want to see, can they do it? I don't expect it to be perfect in 15 minutes, but what did they do? Did they complain? Were they, how do they handle overwhelm? How do they handle? So those are a lot of the things I look at. Are they gossipy? Are they nattery? Are they,
Is there a video that really stands out to you that you will always remember?
There was this like French woman. She was just amazing. Back in the day, Grant and I were always like, oh, he's a freak. He's a super freak, but like in a good way, like they worked. And she just did this whole really unique video about super freak and saying it. And I am super freak. And then it would switch to this and that and her. And it was just like, we were blown away. It was so original, so creative, so fun, so upbeat, so captivating. It was just, that was the only one that really like went off the charts. And, we hired her for a long time and she worked well and she moved on, but it was a great video. And the one that stands out to me, which is just like unbelievable, was the girl in a bikini, like hanging out everywhere, trying to get a sales job on Grant's team, like laying on the beach with cleavage hanging out everywhere. I was just like, in what universe does this make sense? Like, I couldn't even think with it. I'm like, she's so disconnected from professionalism and the workplace. Like her body was beautiful. I was like, my God, she's gorgeous. She's got a tan. But that's not what I'm looking for. I don't need you to be gorgeous on a beach to pick up a phone and make sales calls. I need you professional and having the wherewithal to know the difference.
No, thank you for sharing those stories and tips. And I had never thought of that before, asking for videos from candidates. So that is
we never look at resumes. I don't believe them anyway, It doesn't matter. We don't care if you went to Harvard or you don't need a college degree to come work for us. You need to agree with the mission statement, the core values, and you have to be willing to be competent. Be competent. Can you produce tangible products, productivity, production within our organization? You're in.
How big is your team now?
We have like over, 700 employees, but that's everyone. Underneath Cardone headquarters in Miami, we have about 185 now.
What's been the most surprising to you about scaling your business and bringing on such a large team?
I don't know. I'm really not surprised by much these days. I think what's surprising is that people don't realize what it takes to scale. They don't understand the steps. They don't understand how much has gone behind it. So, I think what's hard for me is when people come in and think that this just all happens and it's super easy. They think they can do it all on their own, or they even think they're responsible for it, where they were like a little cog in the wheel. Not that I focus on this or worry about this too much, but when they leave and try to steal your material and your community of people, and, I think that's what's surprising to me, is because I expect people to have honor and integrity,
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Up next, Elena shares the importance of building the right team. We host lots of virtual event programming for our Entreprenista community, and we want to be sure that you are in the know with all of our upcoming events. To get exclusive invites, head over to Entreprenista.com and sign up for our email list so you do not miss out. You can come to our events to network, to learn, and of course, to get inspired. That's Entreprenista.com to sign up for our list, and I cannot wait to meet you at our next event. All right, this is a fun segment we like to do. We're going to ask you a few rapid fire questions. So the first word or words that come to your mind, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. How would your kids describe you in 3 words?
Loving, funny, rule maker.
What is your favorite app on your phone?
Instagram.
Us too. Is there a favorite business tool or solution that you've used in your business that you can't live without?
Cardone training technologies, the Cardone University.
Finally, what is your superpower?
Infrastructure, mindset, and support. That's my jam. I'm infrastructure, mindset, and support.
I love it.
What does a typical day outside of work look like?
That's interesting. Like, I'm always working. Like, for me, work and production is what keeps me on the road to happiness. So I'm always working, but outside of work, hanging out with the kids or watching movies. I have a trampoline in my backyard, which is on the beach in Miami. So I love to jump on the trampoline. I'm hyperactive. I always like to be in movement. I love MMA, so I train almost every day. So that's outside of work.
Do you have a very regimented schedule? Do you have everything planned out for the week, or are you more go with the flow?
No. I don't do go with the flow.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go with the flow because my life is things change and I have to be mercurial. Mercury, you can't grab it. I think that's a strong suit of mine, that I can adapt and adjust and move. But no, for where I'm going, again, my spiritual legacy, I have too much that I'm trying to achieve in this lifetime that it's almost impossible. I want to reach the planet. So that's 8 billion people. It's kind of a big target. So I have every single moment calculated in my planner that I receive daily. I get a week ahead of time, but I know when I'm taking my vitamins, eating breakfast, making the phone calls on the podcast, putting in self-enhancement time, when I'm spending time with the kids, so yes, I am, there's no white space.
Yeah.
Me, I get in trouble with white space when I get bored, when I'm idle. I don't feel good when I relax, when I feel like I haven't earned it. It doesn't feel good for me. What feels good for me and what keeps me energized and winning is when I'm on purpose, I'm hitting targets, I'm making productivity, I'm happy, I'm thriving, and I'm a whole lot nicer and wonderful to be around when I'm on that path. Then I don't know what to do with myself. I don't like that space.
No, I hear you. Courtney and I talk about this all the time because we have a few different businesses and can't help ourselves because we just, love everything so much and love to organize but keep going. How do you time block your day? Do you have specific strategies that you use to organize all the things that you're involved in and that you want to focus on?
Yeah, I mean, I have it laid out. I have 2 assistants and I've had to put policies into place. So if someone wants to book a time with me to talk to me really about anything, at first I was like, oh, I can't have my friends go through my assistant. That's just weird. But the problem is I tell someone I can do something, I either forget because I haven't told them because I have a million other things going on. They get mad at me. I'm like, oh, I'm a bad person. Do you know what I mean? Now I just have a policy. Like, I don't care who you are. I can say yes to you. And I tell them on the phone, unless, this gets put on the calendar, you can't trust that it will happen. So I save myself a lot of heartache that way. So yeah, I do have systems into place to protect me from, one thing that I pride myself on is that, honor my commitments and my word. I mean, all we have is our word. So I can't afford to fumble in that area because, confidence and competency has gotten me to where I am. And that's what's going to lead me to being able to other women to really have the confidence in themselves to go out and ask them to do what I'm asking them to do. So confidence comes from doing what you say you're going to do. So absolutely, I have systems into place to help me remember everything, organize everything, do everything. I have people like when I'm working at my work, unless my assistant is bringing me food, I can't even think to feed myself. It seems like some of the easiest tasks that seem so easy and normal for other people are, kind of challenging for me. You know what I mean?
Well, you have the right team and you found the right team around you by doing those video interviews. So
yes,
you bring on the right team to help.
I do. I bring on the right team and they get it. They believe in me. They want the same thing. So they can take ownership. This isn't my thing. This is like a women's thing. So I've attracted some really powerful women that get it. And, my win is their win.
I love it.
We are stronger together. That's
totally
what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think I had to do everything on my own. Now I realize it's about the power of two or more. It's about collaboration. It's about an empire. It's not about doing it alone.
Our whole event this weekend, our whole theme was collaboration over competition. Like that is what it is all about.
For sure. I'm a competitor. I compete at everything, but yes, I know what you're saying. Over competition, meaning like cutting somebody out, but I always have to have my game and my targets for fun, but agreed. In the context that you're referring to, I 1,000,000% agree.
I need to know, do you have a morning routine? How do you set your day up for success?
I wake up and train about 2 hours a day, 1.5 to 2 hours a day. That's how I start my day. I get the hardest thing out of the way. I don't want to do it. I only like it after I do it. I confront the hardest thing, the most, challenging thing. And then the rest of the day becomes easy after that. And it's just good for me to get the self-discipline in, which has really become such a strong tool and an asset for me because I've learned to do something no matter how I feel about it, whether I want to or not, or, oh, I'm sad today, or, oh, I'm tired, or I don't want to do it. But the discipline has really been the tool that just makes me do it anyway and not care as much about my poor little feelings and what they're telling me to do. I just do it anyway. And I just feel like that separates the professional from the amateur. And it's really the only difference between maybe my success and somebody else's success is I did it on the day I didn't want to, and you did not do it on the day you didn't want to. It's the only thing that separates us. And over time, I've gotten more accumulations and farther ahead because I just didn't stop. I kept going.
You have a big vision, and I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to achieve it. But we all know that in order to get to where you want to go, you got to take baby steps or just do things step by step. So what are you most excited about to happen over the next 2 months? What's upcoming for you?
It's really about building out this team with EXP, bringing more realtors into the organization and really helping structure their lives so where they can have financial success through this model. So I'm really excited to see what I do in the next 2 months. And then also in the next 2 months, I'll be delivering my next Build an Empire Mastermind. And those are just extremely rewarding to me because I work one-on-one through a workbook that I've written. I have this one-on-one time with other women to really deep dive into their life so that by the time they're done, they have the custom blueprint instructions of the exact baby steps to the big steps, to the leaps, to the bounds, to the run of having the life that they always imagined and dreams into reality. So that's really the funnest thing and the most exciting thing that I'm doing right now is those Build an Empire Masterminds.
I love that. So I have a question for you because I know you have children who I think from your Instagram seem a little bit involved in your business. I have an almost 3-year-old who I feel like is very involved in our business. She's on our Zoom calls and sometimes comes in for our podcast recordings and loves the computer at 3 years old, almost 3 years old, which is really fun to see. And she sees hard work every day. So can you share a little bit about how you have shown your children, what entrepreneurship is, what hard work is, and how they've been involved in the business?
Yeah, I've really indoctrinated the children from a young age that we're Team Cardone. It's a team effort. This is what we do. We want to make a difference for the better on this planet. We want to help people. These are our products and services. This is what it does for people. Do you like that? Are you on board with that? Okay, this is what we do. So so they've been indoctrinated on that. Here's, you have a role in this family if you want to contribute in that way. Do you want a role? Yes, because kids want to help, right? They don't want to be like a kid, like they can't, be competent and can't do things. So they always want to contribute. And so any way they wanted to contribute, they're allowed to contribute. It's a way of them like feeling in exchange with the family, for being given a home and clothes and all the stuff that you provide a child. They want to feel like they give back. They want to let you know that they're thankful and they want that. So if it's, when it's a baby and they smile, I've encouraged that. Thank you. Look at you. You made an impact on me. When your child comes in and she's interested in the computer, I could suggest to you that she's interested in the computer because she associates mama on computer means work. So if she comes over and gets on the computer, she's helping you work. So if a mom is like, stop it, stop working, you're refusing your child to being able to exchange with you because that child wants to help. They always are looking for ways to help. So that's another thing. When my kids would come in, and even though it sometimes is like you have to take a breather because you don't want that at that time, just being like, oh my God, thank you so much. You helped me so much. Okay, I have to get to this, but you can, set them onto something else. So I just feel like I've indoctrinated them, let them know that they have a role, and any way that they contribute is actually helping the other person. So when we have to leave and go on the road and not be with them, they're not being left behind. Their role is actually protecting the house, not creating distractions so that we can focus on other people. When they do that, they have helped the other people and they're rewarded when we come home. Yay, Team Cardone, we did great. We helped these many people. Thank you. You did such an incredible job. Thanks for taking care of your nannies. You see, it puts them at a cause point and not an effect point. So they've always been contributing members. They do 10X kids. They, speak at the growth conferences. They get on podcasts, so they're really in. They're Team Cardone.
I love it. It's actually funny you say that. At night, every night we do high fives all in, go Team Carton. So we're already on the already on the Team Carton page. Exactly. So whenever she's old enough, let me know when you do your kids events. Molly's coming.
Okay, I love it. We're working on that actually.
Amazing.
Well, we can talk to you all day, but we have one final question for you. What does being an entreprenista mean to you?
It means being a woman, right? Ista. It means being a woman who is willing to take responsibility for her power, for being able to contribute to society with her products and services, making a difference for the better, and collaborating and empowering other people along the way.
Absolutely.